Okay, so one of the students in one of my classes, she was very interested in Africa, and she was aiming to travel there, and she was thinking about careers and educational paths related to Africa for herself in the future. So I encouraged her in this. Now this, I want to keep this in context in the sense of this would have been a student who in my class otherwise would have studied Hamlet. Again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Instead, okay, this student started to study Africa. Now, it's true, they missed out on studying Hamlet. And I'm not, that's an important question here too, is what are we losing in all of this? And it's a valid question, and it's one I think we should ask. And it's certainly one that I've been asking ever since I've started doing this. I mean, in a lot of ways, hey, I was old school. I love the written word, you know, and I think about that. I think, what are we losing? What are we gaining? What did this student gain? Okay, this student is a good student, but she would not have been passionate about Hamlet. She would have done the work, that's it. She started studying about Africa. Concerned with social justice in Africa. Concerned then specifically, that moved to a specific concern with AIDS crisis in Africa. She started reading books on the topic, and she read one by a Dr. Orbinski, who is was from Doctors Without Borders, is now from a group called Dignitas International. She was so inspired by the book, she looked up information about him, found out, funny thing is that he was coming to Fredericton to speak at UNB. She traveled to Fredericton from St. Andrews to see his talk at the university, was blown away, had a chance to talk to him afterwards. She met him. She was very impressed. She came back to the school just on fire, inspired. She found out about an event called the Race for Dignity, which is an 8-hour stationary bike marathon that they hold in Toronto in June to raise money for AIDS relief in the Zomba district of Malawi, where there are 1 million people HIV positive in a country of 13 million. She came to me and said, wouldn't it be cool if we could do a race for dignity here? I said, yeah, let's do that. And so her independent project, because I started with independent projects, became inspiration for what has now become a school-wide project. We're doing it in St. Andrews. We're the only ones east of Toronto doing the event. It's all student-run. It's happening in our English classes, music classes, art classes, sociology classes, and they're all doing different elements of it. They're calling it the first annual Rock and Ride Festival. That's what these posters are about. It's on June 5th in St. Andrews. In the town square, the students have organized an 8-hour rock concert and an 8-hour stationary bike marathon. All funds going to AIDS relief in Malawi. They've designed all the promotion. They spend their time writing press releases. I have some examples here. They are recording a CD that they're launching on June 5th. They've recorded a single, it's called Heal the World, that they wrote about the AIDS crisis in Malawi, and I have copies here. And the cover is artwork done by students. It will be probably, in our little town, the biggest music festival in the history of St. Andrews, and it's going to be annual. And this is all student-run, and the way they are learning is very engaging, real world, and it's still curriculum-based. Instead of doing a 3-minute speech for me in class to get marked, and the only real audience is your teacher, they go to town council and present about the Rock and Ride and get approval for noise permits and get money. They go to Kiwanis to get money. They go to the Department of Ed and talk about their project. and kids need this real world learning because, what I find, and we still do essays and such. I just collected a stack of essays. What I find is that the grammar is great. No problem. It's flawless, really, in many ways. But what can't they do? They can't make a professional phone call to someone to get them to come and speak at their event. They want to go down to town square and set up a table to promote this event. They can't talk to their classmates effectively to persuade them to come and get involved. They don't know how. They haven't been given opportunity to practice. These are real world oral skills. If you're writing a letter to Kiwanis to ask for money for your Rock and Ride festival, you care a lot more about the quality of the writing than you do if it's just a Hamlet assignment to be marked by your teacher. So you do better. Go back to John Dewey, if that's all right, and I'll just quote him. I think I'm getting the quote right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he said, education is not preparation for life. Education is life. And through this personalized learning and project-based learning, I think we can get there. But we have to be prepared for certain changes because, for example, this Monday, I went into class, and it kind of reverses things, okay? Like now the kids have all the space, I have none. The kids have all the control, I have some, hopefully still. I used to tell kids what to do. Well, I got there Monday morning, and the two student directors of the Rock and Ride, this is the first thing Monday morning, okay? I came, trying to wake up. They come right into my classroom. They're like, Mr. Corey, here you go. To be done. This is my list. The work that they gave me to do. There's things I like about this and things I don't. But ultimately, I think I have to recognize that this is good. These are students who are engaged, I believe. If they're engaged enough that they sat around on the weekend thinking about things that they need the teacher to do so that they can learn, and they put it together for me and they give me instructions on Monday morning, then I figured there's got to be something going very well here. And I'll tell you, if you ever try this kind of learning, if a kid comes up to you and says, wouldn't it be cool if, oh my God, listen. Because that's the gold right there. Every time kids say that, wouldn't it be cool if? It is cool. And it is possible.